But at the end of the day, when your time here is done, and you march on up to the pearly gates, get to meet Jesus, right? And when you're standing there, and I just be imagining what he gonna say. He gonna say, "Hey, that was a great, that was great. You got your PhD. That was great. You got your masters, and you built this business, and you built this business, and you did these things. But what about this thing right here?
Yeah.
I wanted to heal you here because I had so much more for the kingdom to
Ooh.
do.
Hey, 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 hey,
You
hey,
know what I'm
hey.
saying? What about this thing right here? You remember this person? I actually sent this person to you, right? Because you had something that they need, but because you had all your other stuff going on, like because of your insecurities and things like that, you couldn't even give them what they needed. Um, you couldn't even give them what they needed. Um, so I think about stuff like that. When they say only what you do for the kingdom will last, and I'm just learning that all these things are great, right? But if our soul, if our spirit is broken, is it really worth it?
What is it? For profits a man to gain the world and what
And
now?
to
What's
lose his soul.
there we go. Hey, it's your girl Dorcas, and welcome back to the Dorcas Pittman Podcast, where I am on this journey of healing the woman behind the brand, empowering her to drop the cape and heal for real. This is the space where courage, clarity, and strategy meets real healing. So today you're in for another special treat. Why? Because it's her talk. And I'm excited about this conversation because I'm sitting down with a woman who has made a choice that I believe more women need to hear about. She's chosen to do what? Lay down her cape. And this month I introduced the Boss Woman cape. And yes, she has been a boss for a long time. She is, hey, she's a boss. But I don't want to talk about the woman that everyone has seen on the surface. I don't want to talk about that woman. I want to talk about the woman behind the success. I want to talk about the woman behind the brand because sometimes success isn't just what we're building. In some cases, that success becomes the thing that we hide behind, that we use so that we don't have to deal with other things. The thing that becomes a band aid. That's what we're talking about today. We're talking about what happens when success becomes your hiding place. So let's get into it. Desiree, are you ready for some her talk?
Let's go.
All right, Desiree. So before we jump into this conversation, because that's what it is, a conversation, I want you to introduce yourself to my audience, this audience, the people who don't know Desiree Danielle, the creative, the creative's creative.
Man, first off, I just want to thank you for inviting me and having me on. I'm when I get the invitations, I ask the Lord, and He's like, "Yes, go." Why? Because I've been hiding. I've been hiding. So that's why I was just like, that's why I just said yes, because I already knew the timing was right. So hello everybody, my name is Desiree Danielle. I am a licensed cosmetologist, a photographer, podcast producer. But here I like to call myself a creative strategist, right? Why?
Mm,
Because I get to help the helper, and that looks like whether it's hair, whether it's a creative conversation with an author that's trying to figure out how to get this market their book, whether it's somebody needs some brand photos, family photos, whether it's somebody who has a podcast and they don't know what the heck they're doing, they just know the Lord said do a podcast, whether it's leading my media team at church. I'm all things creative, and so um, and I love that because I'm not one to be in a box, and
mm.
I'm learning to be okay with that. So hey y'all.
All right. I love that. And I've known Desiree for some time right now. She is my photographer. She's been my photographer now 22 some
A
years.
long time, girl.
Actually, she was in she's a long time. Let's just say it like that. But thank you so much for accepting the invite. And like I told you, when I was thinking about this episode of Her Talk and what I've introduced this month, the Boss Woman Cape, talking about the woman behind the brand, God literally flashed your name in front of my face, and I'm like,
Oh my God.
okay, I'm just gonna ask.
Oh
I'm just
Lord.
gonna ask. And like you said, when the ask came, you just said yes because you knew. And God is
I knew.
intentional like that. But this boss woman cape can really look good from the outside. And like I said last week in last week's episode, being the boss. Everyone has been striving to be the boss. Oh, I'm the boss chick. I'm the all of these things that has been ringing in the interwebs. Everybody wants to be a boss, and people see the accomplishments, the business, the leadership, the success. But sometimes the very thing that is so celebrated can be the thing that we are using to avoid what really needs our attention. And
Mm,
that's why this boss woman cape can be so dangerous.
yeah.
It can be so dangerous because we're all called, whether it's pulpit ministry, whether it's king marketplace ministry, we're all called to
Mm-hmm.
lead. We're all and leaders in a sense are bosses, but we're all called to do those things in our own way because we all have gifts, talents, and different assignments. But if we get so caught up on the world's view of what a boss looks like, striving to be that, whether it's just for your own, to prove to yourself that you can do it, or to prove to others that you can do it, or just to be comfortable financially. If we are not careful, that cape can literally be the thing that causes us to abort the one, or to not even abort, to dismantle the
Mm,
one thing that gave us the title of boss.
yeah. Yeah. That's so good. That's so
And
good. Yeah. When you're talking about this cape, right? I think it's glamorous to wear it,
yes.
right? We like to bedazzle it and put all the
Mm-hmm.
little fancy things on it and things like that. But it's vulnerable. I'm learning when you actually take it off.
Because you have
When you
nothing
actually
else to.
finally take it off.
That's it. When you, like you said, it's glamorous. It's the glitz and
Hmm.
the glam of I
Hmm.
am a boss. I have
Yeah.
my own business. I'm building this. I'm making this. I'm flexible. I have my own schedule. I am the PTO. You see that? We're all
Ooh,
listen. I
for real.
I don't have to send a message to my boss that I need PTO. I am the PTO.
I
And like
am
you
the PTO.
my paid time off is whenever I want paid time off. I don't have to
Period.
get it approved, and that's what so many of us strive to be our own, to be the CEO, to be the boss, to be able to move when we want to move and to do the things we want to do. But like you said, it's very glamorous, and we get used to people being enamored and captivated by the glamour of what that looks like. But
Yeah.
when you take off of that cape and you take off the glamour, what is left? And that leads me to the first question I want to ask you and have a conversation about. Did your success of, you're a licensed cosmetologist, you had your own salon, you had your creative space where you were able, you were booked with your cosmetology clients, you were booked with your photography, you were booked and you were living the life that you wanted to live. You were comfortable financially. You had some coins, and you was like, "I'm good." You had a home, you had your house, all those things. You were good. Did that success ever become your hiding place?
Let me see. So I would say, in a sense, kind of, yeah, right. It's easier. I'm finding it easier to help and do and push other people, right? And you get known as the one in the background person, like that. Oh, she do my photos. Yeah, guess what? The photographer's in the background. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
she do my hair. Guess what? The hairstylist is behind the chair. You
Mm-hmm.
know. Oh, she produced the podcast. Well, the producer is behind the camera, but the producer's behind the screen of the computer, producing, editing, those kind of things. And I'm finding myself very comfortable there, right? That's a comfortable space for me because um, I don't have to be out on this side.
Mm,
I don't have to be on this side of the camera. I don't have to be seen. You know,
mm.
people that everybody else is seen. I don't have to be seen. And so this journey that I've taken has been the Lord literally stripping me of me, right? Or the image of me that I thought was me.
Mm-hmm.
And specifically here lately has really been pushing me to show up as my authentic self. Not that I had not been my authentic self. Not that the person that I was a fake person. It was just the person that was comfortable for me. That was my comfort person. You know what I'm saying? And so, literally Sunday, one Sunday, I was getting ready for church, and I remember coming out of prayer, and one of my friends, Dr. Joy, had popped up in my brain. I was like, I wonder what Dr. Joy doing. So I'm putting on my makeup stuff, and out the blue. Now, me and Dr. Joy hadn't talked probably since around April, May, somewhere around there. And the message simply said, "Stop hiding.
Hmm.
Stop hiding."
What were you hiding from?
It's really my voice.
Ah.
It's really my voice. Like the Lord just, you know, my voice. That's why when the invitation came, and I was just like, "All right, Lord, let's go."
It's amazing how I love you said how you answered that your voice, because here you are doing all the things. You wear many hats, like you said. You are doing all the things behind the scenes, but as a boss, as someone who is setting her own schedule, as the one who's building her brand,
Hmm.
your brands, because you are a multi-talented, multifaceted um, person, and here you are saying, I was hiding basically to avoid my voice.
Yeah.
And there goes that deeper question is why?
So if we go down, I've been doing some coaching with one of my clients, and if we go down to what he prefers, he calls the basement, and start pushing some things back and really
Mm-hmm.
uncovering the truth. I know it really stemmed from childhood.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I grew up with my mom as a single mother, and my mom's amazing. Like we're really, like that's my girl. Like as I gotten
Yeah.
older, we've been able to have conversations, and the Lord began to show you things. But growing up, she was just real rough,
Mm.
tough, um, low key verbally abusive. If we really want to put a word to it. And so that really shut my voice down at a very young age, right? So not having a safe space to ask a question, not having a safe space to express a desire or a pain or anything like that. Not saying that she wouldn't have listened, but because of I didn't want to get in trouble. So
Yeah.
I just wouldn't say nothing, And so as I've gotten older, I found that's just naturally me. Like I have conversations and I can be vulnerable and transparent in a sense, but um I still struggle sometimes to really like share my heart and my thoughts and my feelings,
Mm.
you
Being
know?
vulnerable,
Yeah.
being completely, like I said, you can be vulnerable to an extent, but when God literally tells you, I need you upfront, you have to
Mm-mm.
take that vulnerability
Mm.
to another level. And you
Mm.
said something, I didn't want to get in trouble. And it's that is why we have to go back to the root of the issue.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you have to, like he said, go to the basement and find out,
Mm-hmm.
why is it that I'm so comfortable being in the background, running doing all the things that I'm comfortable doing, still building, still producing,
Yeah.
still, hey, doing, still making my dreams come true.
Mm-hmm.
But yet, in a sense, there comes a point when, especially because we were created to go from, to not just stay comfortable, we were created to go
Exactly.
higher and higher,
Exactly.
because as we go from glory to glory to glory, we're called to people at those different levels. But when we
Mm-hmm.
remain comfortable in those spaces comfortable with being vulnerable to an extent you can't reach the level or the people at the level that God needs you to reach. And so you choosing to, okay, step outside of that comfort zone and say,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go beyond the level of comfort that I'm used to and allow God to just use my voice in these spaces, use
Yeah.
my voice as this vessel the way he needs to use me.
Yeah. That's so good. And and the reality is, um, the things that we desire, the things that we're probably asking for, sometimes we wonder why they seem delayed, or
Mm,
it's taken such a long time for these promises to come. But sometimes we have to realize that there's a process,
yeah.
right? Like God would be an irresponsible parent to give you the things that you're desiring when you don't have the capacity to maintain it.
Mm.
That's like giving a toddler a 2026 RAV4.
They can't do anything with it.
They can't do nothing with it.
They don't
You
they
know.
don't have the maturity, they don't have the skills, they don't have the tools, they don't have the development needed
Mm-mm. So how do you think you get the tools and the development through the process?
through the process.
Mm-hmm.
Through the process. And
Mm-hmm.
that's where we have to go deeper, because so many women we're speaking to the women who are building, we're speaking to the woman who's building the brand. And one of my favorite quotes is, you can heal while you build. Like,
Yes.
that's the main thing. So many people think they have to stop building. Yeah, there may be seasons where God say, hey, I need you to pump the brakes a little bit or slow down,
Yeah.
but you
Yeah.
don't have to stop building or running the business, unless God told you to. But it's all about surrendering the cape, surrendering your comfort zone, surrendering the glitz and glamour, and allowing people to see you.
Yeah. My armpits just
Allow.
started sweating. Like, God, dog. Ha!
That response. Like, allowing people to see you.
Yeah.
And we get so comfortable hiding behind what's comfortable, hiding behind the camera, hiding behind
Mm-hmm.
the chair, and hearing everybody else be vulnerable and tell you their whole life story, hiding behind the computer and just producing. But God is saying, no, in order for you to have the impact that I need you to have, I need you to take off of what's comfortable, take off of what's shiny and pretty, and get a
Yeah.
little vulnerable. Let me
Yeah.
shake you up a little bit. Let people see you.
Ooh. Ooh.
But why is that so? Why is that part? Because we can get the systems, we can get the logos, we can take the photos, we can build the business, we can provide the services, and be what everybody need us to be. But why is it that we can't be what we need to be to ourselves in order for
Mm-hmm.
God to use us the way he desires?
Mm. I think sometimes, I ain't gonna say I think sometimes. I can only speak for myself because I don't know nobody. I only know me, and I've only known me for almost 40 years, right? I think a part of it is um, just fear of man. You know what I'm saying? Fear of thoughts and opinions of other people. You know what I'm saying? Because they've known
Hmm.
you one way, right? They're comfortable with you
That
this way.
part. That part.
They cool with you right here, but the moment you start stepping into this authenticity, and you may be a little bit more vocal, a little bit more verbal, a little bit more assertive, then it's a problem. You good over here,
Mm.
but when you start stepping over here into this real space, then we got some issues here. We got some problems.
Oh, that is so good. That is good because people want to see the success. People want to see the strength. They want to see you being, oh baby, she booked and busy. They want to see the confidence. They want to see that you're able to actually do it. They want to see, I think, and I really believe that people are okay with seeing that part, because now it shows them that they can do it.
Yeah.
It shows them that it's possible. But the minute you start to reveal what is underneath, the overwhelm, the tire, the
Mm-hmm.
pain, the
Mm-hmm.
brokenness that you have been neglecting, the
Yeah.
unhealed trauma,
Yeah.
the moment you begin to reveal and talk about those things, I think I think that deters them, because it's kind of like, dang, you mean to tell me I gotta deal with all that? I gotta deal with my stuff?
Yes.
You mean to tell me I'm still gonna have to deal with that, and I got all of this?
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
you become that mirror, like they saw the glitz and the glam. They saw, girl, she can do it, I can do it. They see all of this, but when you begin to show them you, the person,
Mm-hmm.
beyond everything the world has been seeing, that they're comfortable seeing, that's when their bubble is burst, and it's like, dang, she's showing me that I'm really gonna have to deal with my mess in order to really be what I really want to be.
Exactly. And I think that's the hard part. My pastor says all the time that um, our healing is our responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, no, you may not have hurt you. Well, some of us probably have
Yeah.
hurt us. Not doing this is hurting us, right? Not doing this self care, this healing, going through this healing process is hurting us. But I'm saying, like, you may not have physically hurt you, or you may
Yeah.
not have put yourself in certain situations. But there comes a time where you have to take the accountability in your own healing process.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's not easy, because you're literally having to do the work and dig down and get to the root of these things and admit some things, and things like that. And so it's easier to just stay booked and busy. It's easier to
it
go off to the next venture. Yeah, oh, this is great. I built this multi-million. Let me go build this one. Oh, let me
Let me
go
go build
build this
another
one.
one. Yeah.
Let's go build another one. Because it's easier to do that, crazy as it sounds, than
It
to
is.
really deal with us.
Whew.
Than to really deal with us. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, um, at the end of the day, I think about this a lot, and this is probably because of my experiences that I've had. But at the end of the day, when your time here is done, and you march on up to the pearly gates, you get the get to meet Jesus, right? And you're standing there, and I just be imagining what he gonna say. He gonna say, "Hey, that was a great. That was great. You got your PhD. That was great. You got your masters, and you built this business, and you built this business, and you did these things. But what about this thing right here?
Yeah.
Like he's so like." I wanted to heal you here because I had so much more for the kingdom to
Ooh.
do.
Hey, 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 hey,
You
hey,
know what I'm
hey.
saying? What about this thing right here? You remember this person? I actually sent this person to you, right? Because you had something that they need, but because you had all your other stuff going on, like because of your insecurities and things like that, you couldn't even give them what they needed. Um, you couldn't even give them what they needed. Um, so I think about stuff like that. When they say only what you do for the kingdom will last, and I'm just learning that all these things are great, right? But if our soul, if our spirit is broken, like our like, is it really worth it?
What is it? What's that address? What profits a man to gain the world, and what
And
now?
to
What's
lose his soul,
their part?
his whole
And
soul, to
his
lose his soul.
whole soul. His whole
Mm-hmm.
soul. And that, when we think about lose our soul, And it's like that's the one thing I'm gonna say this. One thing healing will do, it will have you looking at scriptures in from a totally different perspective. Like
Mm-hmm.
you will be applying that and understanding that one way. But when you choose to take off the glitz and the glamour and surrender to the healing of the ugly stuff, like
Yes.
you begin to experience scripture, and really God gives you a fresh perspective of his word. Because when I think about that, what profits a man to gain the world? What profit you to gain the success and the notoriety of all the things you are building, all of the millions that you have, but when you leave this world empty because you neglected your soul.
Mm-hmm.
You left here, and you left this earth, and your soul was still broken and battered and bruised, and you left this world never experiencing what wholeness felt like
The
what
fullness of God.
the fullness of God.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like my thing is, I want to leave this earth full and empty at the same time. Full because I'm leaving here whole, and I've done everything God called me to do, and empty because I've done everything
Everything.
that God called
Yeah.
me to do.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like when we get so caught up in being in the success of it all, when we get so caught up in building and making the money, and that's why we see all of these bosses, we see all of these people working themselves to death. Because when you focus on the soul, you will learn to rest. When you
Yeah.
focus on the soul, you will learn to say no. When you focus on the soul, you will learn to go up to the mountaintop and go into a season of consecration where it's just you and your father, and you let the systems handle everything else. When you take off the glamour, you learn to delegate, you learn to trust, you learn to
Mm-hmm.
lean in like never before. You learn that you don't even want to be in control.
Not for real.
Not for real, for real. But what's beneath,
Yeah.
because of what's beneath the glamour that has been neglected and ignored, you never enter that space of
Yeah.
wholeness.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so you need the
That's
cape.
where definitely this season has and it's so funny because people like because I don't post very consistently, but I post when I'm inspired or led to post. Like I may show up in my stories and stuff like that.
In the gym,
In
I
my
see you.
I may show up. I try to show up more in my stories because still stories are fun, and that's kind
Hmm.
of where I talk and communicate with people a little bit more in my stories. Um, but I am finding that because I show up a certain way, or I just show up certain pieces of the process in the journey. Like I may show up here and there. People just think I'm there all the time. Like you just busy. You just busy, just busy, just busy. And in my mind, or to me, I'm really not. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm intentionally um trying to be in the moment.
Yeah.
I'm intentionally just trying to like work on me. I'm intentionally trying to like work on discipline. I'm intentionally trying to like really, really dig in this basement and see what's in there. You know what I'm saying? What we need to throw out, get rid of, what's going to the
Yeah.
goodwill. You know what I'm saying? Um, and so uh, I've learned this journey has just taught me that um, the cape is good, but the cape is not God.
Ah. Ah.
Hmm.
Mm.
It's good, but it ain't God.
Mm. Oh, that one. Whew. It's good, but it ain't God. It's
Hmm.
good, but it ain't God.
It ain't God.
And the one word I heard when you said that was surrender. Yeah, it's good that you got the money in the bank. It's good that you got all these businesses. It's good that you have the glitz and the glam, but it ain't God. And what does God look like when the good is no longer there? I see the good as a distraction to some,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because why settle for good when you can have God?
Good.
Ooh. Add another. Take away one of them O's. It's too crowded. That middle is ooh, girl. That middle is too crowded.
It's too crowded.
It's too much ooh in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Take
Mm-hmm.
take take something out of the middle that's distracting
Yeah.
from the God. But the good feels good. If it's give you a little swagger. That false swagger, I would say. Did I just say swagger? Oh my
You
God,
did.
it's
You
showing
said,
swagger,
and you said swagger.
not swag. Lord,
That's what you said, swagger.
bless it. I guess that's what. I was,
I'm hollering.
oh Lord, that's what. Ooh, 40. Yes, Jesus. Swagger. Okay, we're gonna pivot from there.
I'm
I love that you said swagger. Oh, Lord, Gerard gonna talk about me when he listens to this episode. I'm sorry, y'all. No, I'm not sorry. But anywho, that cape is good, but it ain't God.
hollering.
It ain't God. So let's lean into that, like that part right there, because evidently, just listening to you and knowing your journey, you know, in your story, you are in this space of God. Like what was good, but you have literally been on this. Okay, good is not what I want. I need
Mm-hmm.
it. Maybe it was what I wanted, but it's not what I need. I need God. So
Yeah.
in order for you to enter that space of God, of course, healing had to take place.
Mm-hmm.
So now that you now that you've chosen to surrender the comfortable cake, the glitz and the glam, and people seeing the success, what did healing change about the way you are choosing to build now as the woman behind these brands?
What has healing changed? I'll say my perspective.
Mm.
Like before, because because I'm so creative, and if I'm honest, like most things that I've done, I was pretty good at them. You know what I'm
Ooh.
saying? The only thing that I probably really like almost cussed one time, I was trying to learn how to crochet hats. Okay, this was like in college, and this was random, but I just couldn't get my hands and things together, so I was mad. I was like, ah! But everything that I pretty much have done, I've done pretty decently. And if I'm also honest, um, most of the spaces that I've occupied, they weren't spaces that I saw myself in, if
Mm.
that makes sense. So when I started college in 2005, dang, that's a long time. God, no. When I started college, I actually started out as a pre-nursing major. Okay, but I've always been creative. I've always been creative. Like started doing hair at 12. I remember being, a young tiny tot. I'm gonna say tiny tot. Like in my, you know, 9, 10, 11, I was making Barbie doll clothes. My mom sews. And so I was making Barbie doll clothes with scraps of cloth and needles and threads and things like that. You know what I'm saying? Painting, drawing. I've always been creative, but I never really had the encouragement that
Mm.
this could be something, right? That this could be something. Like you always just hear college, go to college, get a job, and stability, right? So I was like, oh
Yeah.
well, I used to like to watch Labor and Delivery and A Baby Story on TLC when the TLC was really TLCing, you know what I'm saying?
That part.
And and so I was like, oh, I can just be a nurse. So that's really, if I'm honest, that's really about the biggest thing that I put a name to. Like, oh, I could be a nurse, right? I told my friends in college I wasn't doing hair for a living, and I ended up doing hair for a living. Okay. I thought photography was cool, but I didn't see myself doing photography as no business or nothing. Here I am doing photography as a business. I didn't know nothing about podcasting. I just had a friend, Kiani, that had a podcast that was maybe like 5 or 10 minutes, and she was trying to put the audio on YouTube with a graphic thing. And I was like, hey, people go to YouTube, watch videos. I ain't know nothing about that. But I've always had the idea and I would just go for it, right? I would
Yeah.
just go for it. I did just go for it. And then I'd be like, okay, Lord, here you go. Can you bless it? Like, can we do this, Lord? After I've already made the decision to go do a thing, right? So, what this healing journey has taught me is that yes, success is great. I was booked and busy. No, I was making the money, but I was tired as I don't know what, because I was trying to do it all in my own strength and my own understanding and things like that. And so I'm still in this weird place where I'm trying, because I'm in the world, I'm building a business, I work with other businesses, other entrepreneurs and things like that. But there's some things that I've come to learn that I just don't care about no more. I just
Mm.
I just I just don't, I don't know. Maybe the Lord did it. I maybe, I don't know, but there's just certain things that is just like, this is good, but
Mm.
I just ain't, you know. And maybe near death could do that too, when you realize that, when you almost
Yeah.
tap death, so, you realize that there's things that you probably had priority, that you thought were priority and very important. And you just realize when you ain't here no more, it don't matter.
It don't
Like
matter.
I can't take none of this stuff with me. But what's gonna live on is my character, like how my the brand. You talk about the brand, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
the part of the brand is how did you make people feel?
Mm.
Like when somebody said your business name, like what feelings, what thoughts came up for this person? I was working with a lady one time, and she was bringing in a new lady into the team. Well, she had to give us a disclaimer that this lady was kind of difficult to work with. Okay, I don't want nobody to have to disclaim me because I'm a difficult person to work with.
No.
So really what healing has showed me is that that God is really more concerned about us as a person. He's concerned about our character. He's concerned about our heart. He's concerned about how we love people. At the end of the day, like all this other stuff is bonus. It's great, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, those are the things that he's concerned about. And so I find myself as I'm unpacking this basement journey, as I'm, learning more about myself, being more comfortable with my voice. I really just want what he wants for me.
Mm. That is so good because you said I just want what he wants for me, and so many people would say that thing and say I just want what I want. Ooh.
I've
I
had
just
what I wanted.
I just want what I want. I want this.
Yeah.
I want that. I want this. I don't care about nothing else. I just want what I want. But the reality of striving to get what you want,
Yeah.
you're responsible for sustaining. You're responsible for everything that comes with you getting just what you want.
Exactly.
But when you say, I just want what God wants for me, you are putting that back on God. Yes, you have to do the work and you have to surrender and allow God to show you what's in that basement and then
Hmm.
unpack what's in that basement and then clean out that basement. But when you just want what God wants for you, you are saying, I am just going to be responsible for me and doing my part to make sure that I have the capacity to
Yeah.
do and to show up in the things that God wants for me.
Yeah.
But that takes a thing called surrendering the glitz and the glam.
Phew.
And so many people who are building these brands, so many of these bosses, they've worked so hard to build that they have made it, ooh, I'm going to say the word, an idol.
Ooh. No, that's true. That's real. One of the scriptures that I have been marinating on this season, um, it's Ezekiel. Don't quote me wrong. Don't get me wrong. It's maybe 47. It's the vision where about the water, the tide rising, right? He
Mm-hmm.
talked about, I went this way, he stepped in the water came up to his ankles, he stepped in another part of the water, it came up to his knees, then his waist, and then he got to a point where he was fully submerged.
Mm.
right? And that's where the Lord wants us, like out here in the deep, fully submerged, like because you ain't got nothing but to trust Him, right? I had to be honest with the Lord. I said, Lord, I'm out here. I got this life jacket in my hand though because this seems safer. I still,
Mm.
I'm out here in the water, but I'm floating. Well, I think I'm floating because I'm holding on to this life jacket that I
Ooh.
think is actually doing something, and it ain't doing nothing for real. If I'm honest, it's just that control thing. So is this fully surrendered?
No, it's not fully surrendered because the life jacket is designed to keep you afloat. But God is saying, I don't even want you to have that.
Mm.
I don't even want you to have that.
I want you to take it all the way off.
I don't need, like, because then you're telling me that you really don't trust me out here in these streets. If you are still holding the life jacket above the water,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm.
really haven't submerged. Because when you started talking about that scripture, I promise you my chest got real tight because
Mm.
I can't swim. And I promise you, I almost drowned when I was a little girl. And over the last 4 years, I just got to the point where I can stand in the shower and allow the water
Oh wow.
to go over my face. Like now, I can be under the shower and washing my face in the shower in the water. It don't bother me. That's just happened within the last, I want to say, 4 years.
Wow.
So I'm thinking about. I've been to the beach. I've been on a cruise. I'm thinking about that scripture, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
literally submerged underwater. My chest is tight. I cannot breathe. I don't know. All I see is death.
Mm-hmm.
But what does
Jesus.
all I see is death in the flesh? That's all I see
Yeah.
because under this water, I have no control because I can't swim. And right at this point, I'm on my tiptoes underneath.
Mm.
And you're telling me to go
Yeah.
further. And now
Deeper.
there's nothing underneath. Go
Deeper.
go deeper in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
Go deeper into that basement.
Mm-hmm.
And now I am fully submerged. And I have to trust that I will not drown. I have to trust that I would not die. But he also says, die to self daily.
Every day.
Every day.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes multiple times a day.
Sometimes when you in a certain situation, it's every second. Okay, Lord, whoo. Okay, Lord, whoo.
Mm-hmm.
That okay, Lord.
Ooh.
But in order to get everything that God desires for us,
Mm-hmm. That's
that's
surrender.
the only that's the only way to go.
Yeah.
That's the only way to go. So I want you to think about the woman behind the brand when you had everything you wanted. Before God submerged you down in that basement with all with all the things. Think about the woman behind the brand when she had everything she wanted
Mm-hmm.
that she thought she wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And think about the woman behind the brand now.
Mm.
What's the difference other than perspective?
Um, the surrendered heart. Literally the surrendered heart. When I
Mm.
um was in a space where I felt like I had it all, right? And I had it ain't like I was making millions or anything like that,
Mm.
but the American dream, bought a house, did that, paid off the car, saving money, going on trips, hanging out with family, friends, all those things. Those things were great. But I just realized that um I was God was he wasn't centering those spaces. So where yes, I had the things, I had to maintain the things. You know what I'm saying? And so this journey that I've been on with the Lord, I've had to do nothing but surrender. Because when he all you got, this that's literally all you
So
got.
you got.
Like literally that's all you got. And so um the biggest difference is the surrender. The biggest difference is the posture. Um Still a journey. I'm still journeying. I'm still learning. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I be getting whooped every day. Whew. But um I feel so much safer. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, I
Yeah.
yes, I may no, I may not be in this particular place that I was in, but the place I'm in now, so much better. So much better. I can say that even though, you know, a few weeks ago I was probably lamenting to the Lord that I felt like I'm still in the same place. But the truth is I'm still in the same place, but the person in that space is so much different.
Mm.
So much different. So much
Wow.
different. If
The
that makes sense.
difference between the two. Yeah, it makes sense. The difference between the two is surrender. And that makes all the difference.
Yeah.
Going from what I wanted to what God wants for me. And the reality is, we don't specifically know what God wants for us, but His promise is, my plans are to prosper you, to give you a hope in a future. So, no matter
Yes.
what the specific things are that He has for us,
Yes.
they are going to fulfill His promise of never, His plans never to harm, but to prosper and to give us hope and a future. And prosperity is not always monetary in a monetary factor.
Mhm.
Prosperity is in wisdom. Prosperity is in influence. Prosperity is in impact of the kingdom. Prosperity is a multitude of things. The prosperity is love. It's so many things, but that is His promise. And as long as that is His promise and that is His word, it cannot return void, no matter what His plans are, no matter what
That's
He
it.
has for
That's
you
it.
to build, no matter what city you're in, no matter who what businesses are he assigns to you. Those are His plans. So what would you tell the woman who's listening, who who has the brands, who has who is building what she's built what she's wanted or is building what she's wanted, and what would you tell that woman right now who is hiding behind the glitz and glam of the cape, who's hiding behind the good thing of the cape? What would you tell her?
I think the number one thing that I would tell her is don't leave God out of it.
Mm.
Don't leave don't structure your day then try to fit him in. Like literally start your day with him. Start every decision with him. Every idea, take it back to him. Because what I'm learning is as a creative person, typically most entrepreneurs, you know, are creative people in some ways that we were naturally designed to solve problems. We're solutionists, right? And so we tend to get the idea and we'll just go for it. But why not get the idea and take it back to the person who gave it to you for the blueprint for it,
Mm.
for the strategy for it? You know what I'm saying? Um, because my heart, like I really had to, I really felt like I felt the Lord's heart when He told me I left Him out of it.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I had been
Wow.
doing life without Him.
Wow.
And so just don't leave God out of it. Like when the scripture says seek first the kingdom of God, like that's exactly what it means. Seek him first on everything because yes, we can build the businesses. Yes, we can have the marriages and the kids and the cars and all these things. But if we're not allowing ourselves to spend time with him and in his presence so that he can give us what we need to be able to sustain these things, um they're not going to be sustainable.
Mm.
They're
Yeah,
not going to be sustainable. So the blueprint is to seek first the kingdom and don't leave him out.
that's it.
That's it. That's literally, just don't
Yeah.
leave him out.
And just thinking about what you said, we don't have the capacity to sustain what God has called us into.
Hmm.
We don't have the capacity to sustain it. And that is why it is so important that we lead with God. We
Yeah,
seek him first. Like, and it's so simple. I've gotten to the point like when I can't think of what to wear, God, what I'm wearing today?
exactly.
Like,
What we
what am I
eating
wearing?
today?
What we eating today?
What color polish should I get today?
Like, when we get comfortable with with seeking God on something as we call trivial and minute as what am I putting on today? Or what polish am I wearing? Or what am I eating? If we get so comfortable with asking God those things, it would be like muscle memory to lead with asking God about building, about
Mm-hmm.
entering different partnerships and relationships, about
Mm-hmm.
making any type of move when it comes to self and what he has called you to build.
Yeah. You already said he know the plan that he have for us. Thus says the Lord. That's to
Thus says the
prosper us, to
Lord.
give us hope and a future, which means if he's giving you an idea for the business, that means he has the structure for the business. That means the resources for the business. That means the partners for the business. That means the clients, the customers, the relationships for the business. So why not go back to the manufacturer?
That part. We send everything else back to the manufacturer when it ain't working the way it's supposed to work. So
We do. Hey, this said that it need two AA batteries, and I got two AA Oh, I got them going the wrong way.
wait.
Bet.
Oh God, you told me to do this first, and I didn't listen because that right there made more sense to do first. Um, my bad.
Mm-hmm.
I know I just wasted a whole lot of time in tears, in sweat, in stress.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just gonna go on back and do this thing the way you said do it, Lord. Even though it didn't make sense to me. Because he honors that. That is called obedience. That he honors all of that because we are showing him that he is more important than anything else.
Yeah.
Because all glory has to come back to him. All glory has to come back to him. That part.
No, for real.
All glory has to come back to him.
Yeah.
And if
So
you
good.
and if we get that, then that since all glory has to come back to you, God, I ain't trying to do anything. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. Listen, you do you. I'm just gonna take. I'm just gonna do what you tell me to do and keep it moving.
And keep it moving.
Because you know the plans you have for me. I don't. I don't. God knows the plans He has for His daughters. And
Yeah.
one thing when this transition of this podcast and going and surrendering
Yes.
what I wanted to what God desired for me, it took me taking off the glitz and glam of healing
Yeah.
and surrendering and submerging myself into God's plans for me. But one thing that I've learned is I had to surrender to my identity, not
Mm-hmm.
the identity of anything else, not the identity of healing, not the identity of the business, the of whatever, of being a coach, being a speaker, not those identities. I had to surrender to my identity as a daughter. And when
Yes.
he gave me this empowering her to drop the cape and heal for real. Like, God, what is this cape? This cape is a false identity.
Mm-hmm.
Your the boss is a false identity. All these capes that we wear are false identities that we have taken on because it has been a part of our journey. It's been a
Yeah.
part of our story. But we have to lean into the only true identity that we have, and that is daughter.
Yeah.
That is daughter. Because when you move and operate as a daughter,
Mm-hmm.
the rest of it really don't matter. It matters, but it don't.
You don't.
It don't. Yeah, I'm a wife, but I'm a daughter. Yeah, I'm a mom, but I am a daughter. You know what they
Mm-hmm.
say, when you say but, everything you said before but don't matter anymore.
Don't matter no more.
it doesn't
Null and
it
void.
doesn't matter anymore. Null and void.
Yeah.
Yes, you are a photographer, but you are a daughter.
Yeah.
Yes, you are a producer, but you are a daughter. Yes, you are a business owner, but you are a daughter. And what do daughters do to the person who created them? What do they do to the person who is responsible for providing all of their needs? They surrender to them.
They surrender to
They
you.
submit to them. They
Mm-hmm.
go and seek them first.
Yeah. They trust them.
They trust them.
Mm-hmm.
And the difference between the earthly father and
Ooh.
God is the fact that he can't lie. He created you. He knows your every thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
He will never harm you. His word is his word, and there's nothing can negate that.
Mm-hmm.
So, as his daughter, as you have surrendered, as you have entered this space of a surrendered heart, before we leave, I want to ask you the Her Talk closing question, and I want you to complete this sentence. The woman I became when I finally laid down my cape is.
A daughter. The woman I became when I finally
Mm.
laid down my cape was really stepping into my true identity of a daughter. Surrendered. Wholeheartedly surrendered.
She stepped into her identity as a surrendered daughter, as a surrendered daughter.
Yeah.
And she's still able to build in everything that God has called her to build. On the backside of her stepping into her identity as a surrendered daughter, not only is God using her in the space of cosmetology, not only is God elevating her in the space of photography, not only has God elevated her in a place of producer and expanding her territory, not only has God expanded her reach and her voice as an author, not only has God done all of those things, He's continuing to give her the capacity to go into the basement,
Mm-hmm.
give her the desire to go into the basement and to say, God, show me everything
Mm-hmm.
that is left that I need to address.
Yeah. Literally.
Because she understands what the other side of surrender and coming into alignment with her truest identity looks like. And I love that for you, Desiree.
Yeah. You
I
know,
love that
it's
for
different.
you.
It's different. But I like it. I like it. Because like
uh,
I was when we were talking as you were talking about being a daughter, Like I don't have kids, right? But even to this day, like I said, I realized my mom parented from a space that she knew. You know what I'm saying? She
Mm-hmm.
too had her own things, that she had to kind of work through and walk through. But even to this day, as an almost 40-something-year-old woman, I can go to my mom and ask her for anything, and I know she'd give it to me. What more our Heavenly Father? And not even that, like being fully surrendered, like I can trust his direction. I can trust his instruction, you know? And I like that. Because like you said, we be in control all the time, but I don't really want to be in control like that for real. Not for real. Not for
Not
real.
for
Now
real.
I've had to do it
Not.
out of survival through processing,
Mm.
but just being in this space, it's just so peaceful here. I like it. I love it.
It is. I tell people the air is different up here. Like when you
It
choose
is.
to surrender and step into a different level of healing, it that the air is just you just breathe differently over here. My desire is that everybody experience it.
Mm-hmm.
But Desiree, I just want to thank you for being
Ah,
to for saying yes to this conversation, and more importantly for being leaning into your voice and sharing with the people not just the what they see, but the woman behind the brand, the woman
yeah.
who is building these businesses. Because somebody needed to hear that today. Somebody needed to hear that, hey, you see Desiree and doing all these things. You see me moving, and you may think that I'm always booked and busy, but there's a woman who is behind all of these things that you see. There's a woman who's still choosing every day to surrender and ask God to show you, show
Yes.
me what else needs to be addressed so that I can walk into the fullness of who you called me to be. Thank you
Yes.
for showing them and speaking to that space of you can build, you can lead, you can succeed at all the things, but more importantly, you can heal while you build
Heal
because
while you build.
heal while you build because the goal isn't to stop building. The goal is not to stop becoming successful in all the things that God has called you to be. The goal is to just not have to hide behind
Mhm.
all of that. The goal is to become whole while
Yes.
you build, to become whole so that you have the capacity to do everything that God has called
Yes.
you to do. So thank you so much. And thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Dorcas Pittman Podcast. This has been your Her Talk. And until next time, keep dropping the cape, keep healing for real. Why? Because you are her. You are healed, you are empowered, and you are restored. Talk to you next week. Peace.
Peace, y'all.